I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and delighted to have with us today Dr. Michael Brown. He's the host of the nationally syndicated talk show Line of Fire. He's president of Fire School of Ministry and one of the keynote speakers coming up on the Safe Exit Summit, the Safe Exit Summit. By the way, that is scheduled for October 2nd and 3rd, and it's hosted by PFOX, which Parents and Friends of Ex-Gays. His book is entitled Outlasting the Gay Revolution, and his website, he's actually got several, so you may want to jot these down, safeexitsummit.org. That's for the upcoming summit. You can ask Dr. Brown, that's askdrbrown.org. And of course, the other one is the PFOX website, which is pfox.org. Dr. Brown, thanks for being with us. Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Doing very well. Thanks, Perry, for having me on.
Yeah. Well, first of all, tell us about the summit coming up.
Well, I'm working together with PFOX and with Voice of the Voiceless, different organizations that are helping people with unwanted same-sex attractions. Because these days, you're supposed to celebrate same-sex attraction. This is supposed to be a positive thing. You're not allowed to speak against it. In some states, it's illegal for a minor with unwanted same-sex attraction to get professional counseling, even with the support of a mom and a dad. So these organizations exist, and PFOX exists to say, hey, we want to help you. If you're struggling with unwanted same-sex attractions, there is a way out through the gospel, and there is such a thing as ex-gays or former homosexuals. Some of them have simply renounced the way they used to live. They found new life in Jesus, and even though they can still be tempted, they're living a godly life, a godly single life. And there are others who've really seen a change in their sexual desires and romantic attractions, and now they are happily married with families. And we want to shout out to the world, there is a better way. God didn't make you gay. God loves all people. Jesus died for all people, but God didn't make anyone gay. This is not some gift to be celebrated. Rather, it's contrary to God's best, and there is a better way. And these days, boy, you talk about a rejected minority. It's one thing when someone comes out as gay and family and friends might reject them, less and less these days, but certainly a lot in the past. But what happens when you come out as gay, you go through that whole passage, and then you realize, I don't want to live like this. I'm not happy living like this. I don't believe God wants me to live like this. And now you have to come out again. You talk about people that get ridiculed and abused, and you will constantly be told there is no such thing as ex-gay. No one ever really changes. So they are really pushed back, and it's my joy to come in and stand with them and say, hey, there is hope. There is a better way.
Is that the essence of your message at the summit?
Yeah, that'll be a key thing that I want to bring, but really encouragement to them that they're doing the right thing, that there is hope. Because when you get what feels like the whole world against you, sometimes it can be disheartening. So I really want to encourage the leaders. I want to encourage the ministers. I want to encourage those that keep standing on the front lines. People heard, well, Exodus International folded, and that proves no one ever changes. No, Exodus International folded because it's lost its vision and because it compromised some of its message. The key ministries that were part of Exodus International, helping people with unwanted same-sex attraction, they've gone on. They've just formed other organizations to work together. So we need to shout out to the world as well. There is hope. And then encourage those, really bring hope and encouragement to those that are on the front lines, counselors, ministries, pastors, family members, to keep praying, keep believing, keep standing.
What hope is there for those who are dealing with gender confusion? Same thing?
Same thing, but here's where we have to start. The church can't just look at this and mock Bruce Jenner and say, what's the matter with him? And think, oh, you're some kind of pervert. No, we have to have compassion, because you got to realize it takes a lot for someone to go as far as Bruce Jenner to now say he's Caitlyn Jenner. and fine, got reality TV and all that, but you wouldn't do that for all the money in the world. Neither would I. Say that we're actually women in men's body and go through sex change and to have a reality TV show. So these are deep, deep needs. These are people who are troubled, many of them suicidal, in a lot of pain, sometimes struggling with this for many, many years, starting as children. So we need to have great compassion as followers of Jesus. The church can't just say this is wrong. The church also has to say, we understand the struggles and we're here to stand with you. That being said, of course, there's hope for those with gender confusion, whether they need counseling, whether they need some type of spiritual healing or deliverance, whether it's something else that has to be addressed. There are people who used to have gender identity confusion that no longer do. They're whole, they're healthy, they're in good relationships. God can do it. Where there's something that needs to be healed, he can heal. Where there's something that needs to be adjusted, he can do it. But the worst thing we can do is just either mock on the one hand or celebrate on the other hand. This is nothing to celebrate. These are people who need help.
Well, we really dropped, I'm saying we, the faith community, has really dropped the ball on this, and I'm glad to see you and others starting to really come up with some practical and biblical ways to address this. Now, you went on to write a book, Outlasting the Gay Revolution. Who'd you write that book for?
Well, I wrote that book for the nation. I wrote this book as a manual for a holy counterculture revolution. I wrote the book for the nation saying it's not time to just say the culture wars have gone in a certain direction. But in particular, I wrote this book for conservatives and in particular among them, believers, to say it's not time to throw in the towel. It's time for pushback. That the gay activism has within itself the seeds of self-destruction. I'm not bashing individuals. I'm simply saying that gay activism, the more and more it becomes a bullying movement, the more it will undo itself. The more it wants to redefine marriage and declare war on gender distinctions, the more it is untenable for long-term sustainable societal impact. I believe that gay activism has within itself the seeds of self-destruction. But if we live by the 8 principles that I lay out in this book, we will actually outlast the gay revolution. If Jesus doesn't come first, I believe the tide will turn. The subtitle of this book is Where Homosexual Activism is Really Going and How to Turn the Tide. The book just came out, already available on Amazon in hardcover. And the very first review, the guy said, warning, this book will change your life. And the reviewer said, I've never read a nonfiction book in one night, but I read this entire book in one night. And he said, I've got to admit, after the Supreme Court decision, I was downcast, I was discouraged, I was gloomy. He said, this book has given me hope again. So it's a book of fresh hope and courage. I've written on these things from many different angles, written other books, but this is the first one where I'm laying out practical strategy and also demonstrating where things have gone with the war on gender, where things have gone with redefining marriage, why this is not sustainable, and how by God's grace we can see the tide turn.
Dr. Brown, where can people get a copy of it?
Easiest way is just to go to Amazon, Amazon.com. They can order it. If they'd like to order it together with a special DVD, they can do it on my website, Ask Dr. Brown, askdrbrown.org, and it should be in bookstores by early September.
It appears that the gay activists are not only winning the intimidation war, now they're winning the legal war. And Oregon is that state where you now cannot counsel a teenager away from same-sex attraction. What's your take?
Well, yeah, actually, California went first, then New Jersey, some other states have followed. They're winning legal case after legal case. Unfortunately, what you don't hear reported is that in state after state after state, when they pushed to say that it was illegal to counsel a minor, what happened was that they were defeated. The bill didn't pass or the bill was shot down. So there is a pushback. There are a few states that have gone in that direction. There are, probably 4 or 5 times more that have said no to it. And the more they win legal cases against Christians, And now a Christian is going to be put out of business or fined severely because in conscience they can't bake a gay wedding cake or take pictures at a gay wedding ceremony. The more that they become the bullying movement, the more the church is going to wake up and the more society is going to realize this is not a matter of equality and tolerance. This is a matter of intolerance and inequality. And they're going to realize that gay activism has become the principal threat to freedom of religion, speech, and conscience. And that's part of what's going to backfire. The bullying will backfire, and it will lead to an awakening among God's people if we'll humble ourselves and pray.
But in the meantime, we are being criticized for being unloving by doing our pushback. It's being seen as being bigoted because we're pushing back. How do we balance pushing back and still offer them the gospel?
Well, what we have to do is have a heart that really loves, that if you cut me, I bleed love, that it's not just words, that it's reality, that we really do love, that we really do care, that we really do have a heart to help, and that the loudest message that they hear from their coworkers, from their friends, from their family is the message of the cross, the message of Jesus, the message of new life. At the same time, we have to stand for what's right. Look, we're exposing Planned Parenthood. There's a national movement to defund Planned Parenthood. That's going to seem unloving to the abortion providers. That's going to seem unloving to mothers that chose abortion and didn't even think about it. They were that hard-hearted, those that were. But we've got to stand for what's right. At the same time, we reach out with love. The philosophy we've lived by the last 10 plus years is reach out and resist. Reach out to the people with compassion, resist the agenda with courage. We need hearts of compassion joined together with backbones of steel.
Dr. Brown, thank you. You're an inspiration. And by the way, if you want to get a copy of his book, Outlasting the Gay Revolution, check it out on Amazon.com. There's a picture of it there on the screen by Dr. Michael Brown. You can go to his website, askdrbrown.org. You can check it out there. And you may want to check out the upcoming Safe Exit Summit scheduled for October 2nd and 3rd. And you can go to safeexitsummit.org. Dr. Brown, thank you, my friend. Let's get together again soon.
Yes, my joy. Thank you, Perry.
You bet. All right, we'll be right back.